Welcome back to the We Are Pod. Every week we bring you some amazing stories from our community. We're getting a lot of traction now and people are really engaging and enjoying those stories. But of course, none of this would be possible without our partners at Digital Sparks. So if you like what you're doing, you like hearing the stories, don't forget to follow and share those stories. This week's guest is the most incredible woman. You probably will know her when I mention her name. She is not only an estate agent, but she is a firewalker, a mountain climber. Please welcome Sarka Wilde. Sarka, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me, Claire.
The more I hear about your story, I just think, it's nothing this woman can't do, because you've achieved so much and do so much. But I kind of want to start back in the beginning of your estate agency story, really. So how did you get into estate agency?
That's an interesting story because I think I fell into it. I've been landlord pretty much since my 20s,
right,
which was just like 3 years ago.
Of course.
And I always wanted to be an estate agent. Since the day that I made friends with my friend, estate agent in Czech Republic, I really became passionate for about estate agency. And when I moved to the UK, I had a varied career, and I then ended up working as a freelance negotiator for various property investment companies. I acquired some properties myself, so I've been investing, and few people told me that I would make good estate agent, so I just decided to set up estate agency.
So without really working in the sort of traditional high street agent, you thought, I'm a landlord, I like people, I think I'll do it for myself.
Pretty much, and I really wanted a service. I wanted to deliver really good service. I've been always, whatever I've been doing in life, it was always about people and delivering value and service. And I just really wanted to do it in the property sector. So I just basically decided to set up estate agency.
And I think that's sometimes how people do end up sort of setting up their own business. It's kind of, I want to deliver that level of service, and the only way I can guarantee that is if I do it for myself or set up my own business. So you set up Distinct Property Consultants.
Yes.
12 years ago, was it?
Yeah, 12 years ago. Originally, I was in my living room.
Right. Oh, really?
Yes, for 6 months.
Right.
Then I found out that it was actually working.
Yeah.
So I basically incorporated the business and went into business center. I actually didn't want to go on high street. I didn't believe back then that you had to be on high street. Went to business center and build it from there. We've got premises now.
You're on high street, shopfront?
It's not high street, but there are premises where people actually, it's quite rural. It's in between towns. We have also still business center. We've got a couple of branches, but it's not the traditional shopfront. It's shopfront that is not on high street.
And I see that more and more, because that shop window that we traditionally think that you needed in order to tell the public the property you got on the market. Of course, with the portals, they see them on the portals.
Yes.
So is that an extravagance to have a high street office? And I see some very successful businesses around the country who are working from business centres, but it's that focal point where you and your team can work from. You can hold keys, contractors can pick up keys, and whatever it is.
People actually can come to the office and speak to you.
Do you find that clients come in?
We do have clients coming, not very much.
No.
Not very much. They usually come if they are passing by.
Yeah, they don't make a specific trip, because they don't need to in this day and age. And again, it's quite an extravagance to have that shop front if you're not getting walk-ins. I don't know what the stats are, but I would imagine that most of the leads, even for those agents, are coming from the portals. So you're 12 years into the business. What does your team look like now?
So I've got a team of 4 plus myself. A couple of people are working part-time, a couple of full-time, and it's a small team. It's working quite well.
Small can be very good. Small can be very beautiful, you know. And if what you're focusing on is that customer service, that level of service, if you keep it small, then it's easier to keep control of that.
It's all my life, everything was about service and quality.
Yeah.
I take really personal, like people's relationships, and you can't really achieve it on huge volume.
No, I agree. You probably can't. But and I always think that estate agency is about people first. We happen to help people move houses, but it's building those relationships and helping them with that transaction, because it's such a stressful time in anybody's life to be moving home. You know, whether you're upsizing, downsizing, divorcing, and to build that relationship and therefore trust, I think is an important part of our role. Now, you obviously take you know, personal development and learning very seriously.
I do.
And you are a member of Propertymark and on the regional, you're a regional exec.
Yes.
So how did that come about, and why do you think it's so important?
So I basically became member of Propertymark as soon as I started agency.
Right.
That was, as I said, I am always about the quality, about customer service. And as soon as I started agency, I researched obviously all the approving bodies and everything. I did my qualification, level 3, and I became a member of Propertymark. And I love what Propertymark stands for. If you just cut me through, you'd probably see the green blood.
Yeah.
The reason is because Propertymark obviously enhances or supports education, supports the regulations, supports agents in any aspect. So for me, becoming regional executive, it's been great honor. I'm really grateful that I can represent the agents in our area.
So the agents are represented. Do you think the public understand what Propertymark is and what it stands for?
Sadly, not as much, I think, as we would like.
Yeah.
There is more and more awareness being made about Propertymark. Obviously, having Phil Spencer backing Propertymark and all the publicity that Propertymark is doing is more and more prevalent. Yeah. Yet I still think that when I go on the evaluations, when you are in the field and you speak to people, I speak to every single person who I value property for about Propertymark. I think
your customers.
Yeah.
Do you?
I do.
Okay.
I do. People need to. If I go, for example, on the valuation, I tell people we are members of Propertymark. Have you heard about Propertymark? No, you haven't. I explain to them because for me, the clients care essentially about one thing. So let's talk about sales. Yes. So in the sales, they want to sell property. They want it to be as stress-free as possible, and they want to make sure that they are in safe pair of hands.
Yeah.
And I can be anybody. Obviously, people can find the business, they can find about me. But I believe that if people can or understand that when you belong to a certain approving body, such as Propertymark, that there is redress, that they, if something goes wrong, they have somebody to call upon to.
What do you, because personally, I don't think that the public really understand what Propertymark is. They understand about the Ombudsman, but I don't think they understand Propertymark. So what do you think Propertymark could do to get that message out to the wider community?
I think it's more education. It's pretty much what Propertymark has started doing. You know, the publicity that is being done with Phil Spencer, and probably involving people like Phil and creating more awareness. Thing is, it comes down always to what is the budget.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, you cannot just be spending a fortune on TV adverts because then who would need to pick up the bill? Somebody needs to pick up the bill. But what Propertymark is doing in terms of the awareness is absolutely great, and I'm a big fan. So I think we just need to do it more, and perhaps also educating agents how to educate their clients about Propertymark.
So I don't think I've ever known agents promoting Propertymark when they're on evaluation. It's all about what they can do for the customer, but maybe that's something that could come into their presentation.
There is exactly, and there is if you think about a big corporate, everybody knows big corporates. But if I'm going on valuation as a small boutique agent, I can align myself to companies such as Propertymark. I can align myself to those organizations where people can actually look, because people sometimes can be suspicious.
Suspicious of you because you're a small business?
No, sometimes if people don't know the business, if it's not big corporate, people are thinking, who is this person? What if this person doesn't deliver? Because if it's big corporate, they have heard the name,
Okay, so you've got the backing of Propertymark, is what you're saying, to a certain extent.
I personally think that you can use that as a backing, because you wouldn't be a member of the Propertymark if you were doing something wrong.
Yes.
Because you have to go through all the compliance, you are audited every year, you have to have your insurances. So this itself should give the person guarantee that they are dealing with an agent that has to adhere to certain standard. Ultimately, people buy from you because they like you. Yeah. But ultimately, there is also that backing.
And, you are probably handling their biggest asset. So know, like, and trust will probably get you almost all the way there, but maybe Propertymark and the qualifications will do the rest. Exactly. Now, I know that you're heavily involved in the Propertymark Trust as well. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the trust and what it does.
The Propertymark Trust is an amazing organization, and I wish we would shout more about what the trust does. It's a charity, it's a charitable arm of Propertymark, and it's a charity that supports Propertymark members, their employees and families going through difficult times, in time of need, and also supports people with the education. So if you, for example, have fallen ill, or you've got bereavement in your family, or mental health issues, and you need financial support, you can go to Propertymark Trust, you can apply for the grant, they will assess your circumstances and will be able to help you. The same with the education. If you want to do qualifications, you want to progress in agency, but you can't afford it, then Trust will again assess your application and will pay for this qualification.
So it's specifically for Propertymark members and their families
and employees.
How many members do Propertymark have? Do we know? Don't know. So I'm sure somebody will find out, and we'll put it in the post.
I should know. No. I'm not always very good on basically remembering this.
And I know you've done a lot of fundraising in the past. One of the things that you've done in the past is firewalking.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are other amazing things that you do, but I'm going to talk about firewalking to start with. How do you get into firewalking? I mean, how does that even cross your mind that you'll give it a go?
It never crossed my mind, firewalking. I never knew up until 2019 that, well, I knew firewalking existed, but I could never imagine that that's something that a normal person like me could do. Yeah. And I got to firewalking, Clare, through trauma.
Right, okay.
I lost my mom to suicide back in 2017. And
was she in the UK?
She was in Czech Republic.
Right, okay, so not even close at hand. Yeah.
Not even close. And the trauma of losing mom to suicide, I had quite a lot of trauma in life, but this was, I can't even describe what you go through. Yeah. It's just horrendous. And
did it come completely out of the blue, or had she had mental health issues for a long time?
Well, she had issues 8 years prior, and now knowing what I know about menopause, about women's health and everything, My mom had issues 8 years prior where she went through really big changes, such as she retired, her mom died, my granny died, and my brother got married. 3 big things in woman's life who is going through menopause. And
it's just overwhelming.
back then, I didn't know that much about these things. Now I am much more aware, and things I studied. So
I think we talk about menopause more now. It was just, I mean, certainly when my mum went to, people just talked about the change, and she had teenage daughters who were hormonal as well, which is it's not unusual. And I don't think she got any sympathy whatsoever. It must have been a nightmare. I know, millions of women that did that. Whereas now I think we're talking about it, there's a greater understanding. So you've learnt more about that and the impact that those big occasions in that, all in a very short space of time, and the impact that would have had on her.
Yeah. I basically, since she died, so coming back when you said, so she had some issues obviously around that retirement, and then she was fine, but she was diagnosed with breast cancer couple of years prior to taking her life, and then she went through treatment very successfully. And towards the end of the treatment, she returned from spa, and she was very happy, and all of a sudden she had slump.
Right.
She basically became very depressed. My family called me from Czech Republic. They didn't know what to do, my dad and my brother. So I started going to Czech, started talking to Mom, started flying to Czech. And what I was explained later by the doctor, that sometimes the drugs that are curing cancer can cause hormonal disbalance. And that could have happened to my mom, and came out of the blue. I went to Czech Republic. I took her, convinced her to go to doctor to get medication prescribed. And she seemed to start getting better, but 2 weeks later, out of blue, she basically took her life.
Were you still in the Czech Republic?
No,
so you'd come
I
back
basically
to the UK.
came back 2 weeks prior. I was there for a weekend, came back, and still remember it was November 7th, so it's coming.
It's the anniversary coming up.
Yeah. And I was actually just booking a car because I was supposed to go to Tenerife for holiday 2 days after, and I was booking a rental car, and my brother called me, and he never used to call me on Tuesday evening.
Yeah.
And I didn't answer, so he messaged me, said, "Can you please call me back when you can?" I messaged him, I said, "I'm just on the phone to the car rental company," and he said, "Okay, call me when you can, but video call me."
Yeah.
And at that point, it kind of something clicked. I was,
You just knew, yeah.
I just knew. I've got goosebumps even now talking about it, that it was just horrendous. And I remember when he told me the police didn't want to show her to me. I insisted that I wanted to see her, so they did show her to me. Right. And first thing that has gone through my mind when I basically when I found out what happened, I told myself, I swore, I don't know if I can swear on the podcast.
You can swear, absolutely. Yeah,
okay,
go on, you can swear.
So I was basically, first thing that went through my mind was shit.
Yeah.
How am I going to turn this into something positive?
Yeah.
It was horrendous. And so then
I just can't begin to imagine, I really can't.
And the guilt you've got, I was, for months and months, I was thinking, if I didn't move to the UK.
Yeah, I can see, that was a question I had, because of course you're going to feel guilty. Yeah. Did you feel angry? Were you angry with her?
I don't think at that point I was, but there came time through, because the grief is not linear.
No.
You kind of you go, it comes and goes. And so at some point I was angry. I was angry with myself. I was angry with her. I was angry with the world because I felt that it was not fair. And I went through 18 months of counseling. Right. I tried any type of counseling, and it always helped a little bit. It helps to talk through things. The CBT is good. But what I learned, I recently completed a degree And what I learned is...
As you do when you've got your own business.
I don't know, don't even ask me, because that, you know, I don't know how I've done it, but last 2 years I was doing degree in coaching and mentoring with psychotherapeutic dimensions. And so I learned a lot also about somatic experiences, and trauma sits in your body. So sometimes you cannot figure out with your head what's going on. And 18 months of grief, and a friend of mine suggested that I go on this retreat that is supposed to sort me over weekend. I would try anything, Claire, at that point. I would do anything just to help myself. So I went on that retreat, and that's where I firewalked.
I was trying to work out where it came in somewhere along the line. It led you to that. So it was a retreat, and
I went on retreat, and 3 days on the retreat, including firewalking, helped me to remove the trauma and help me move on.
How does firewalking help you deal with that trauma and grief and that you were going through?
Again, I've done a lot of studying. Actually, I did psychology module on firewalking during my degree, and with firewalking, it's very much again the experience where you have to get out of your head. Go into your body. It's very difficult to explain. It takes 90 minutes for me to prepare somebody to firewalk, because I trained to the level that I can take people across the fire now. I'm trained as a master firewalking instructor. So
Actually, you are just amazing. Carry on.
I'll carry on. So with the firewalking, it's just something. It's very difficult to explain. But if you look, you need to be in such mental state, absolutely determined, absolutely free of any fear, committed, and then you can walk. You must not be arrogant, you must not be egoistic, you need to be really, really in flow. And something, I think that what happens in the brain gets rewired, and it releases, because as I said, somatically the trauma gets stored in the body, and activities like firewalking or breath work, for example, release the trauma. So I think that's what happened with me. I don't say that it completely cured me.
No.
That would be real false information. And by the way, the disclaimer, because I'm licensed agent, do not try firewalking by yourself without experienced person. So it does something in your body, in rewiring, that let's go of that trauma.
That's the death of your mum is not the only trauma you've had in your life, because I know that you're a survivor of domestic violence as well. How long ago was that, and was that made worse because of the death of your mum?
So I became, I'm survivor of domestic violence. I've got 2 plates and 17 screws in my left arm.
That's incredible.
I had 3 surgeries. I was 26 years old girl in a very violent relationship. I was engaged to someone who thought that they owned me. And I actually discovered that I only recovered from that trauma only when I firewalked. That trauma from that broken arm and from that abusive relationship was really stored. And I am the type of person who always says, eat life, otherwise life will eat you. We all have got issues in life, every single person on the planet.
And it's what makes us as well. You know, you said you're not cured because you can't take those things away, but they have helped to form you the person you are now.
They become part of you.
Absolutely.
They absolutely become part of you. And I've always, so for example, because what happened to me as a younger girl, I am really passionate about not just women, men as well, building the confidence so they don't get abused, because often you get abused because of the low confidence.
Yeah.
I grew up with very little confidence. You wouldn't say this about me now.
Absolutely not, no.
Because I worked on myself. I spent years of working on myself, and obviously my mom's dying, that was another accelerator of doing the work on myself. I've done the work, I know where I stand, I know what I want, I know what is acceptable, what is not, but it took years. And I want people to understand, and this is my passion, almost my mission, I want people to understand that the only way how they can attract the better things in the life is to work on themselves.
Yeah.
This is all what I'm about now.
And it's, well, it's a fantastic message to be sending out there, because it's absolutely true. Now, you've got another big adventure coming up in January 2026. So tell us a bit about that.
Yes, I'm doing a little climb to the mountain that nobody can pronounce.
Well, this is why I asked you to introduce it, because I can't pronounce it. I've never heard of it before.
I'll spare you. I'll spare you. It's called Aconcagua.
Right.
So it's a mountain in Argentina, in South America, and it's the highest mountain, highest peak outside of Himalayas. It's the highest in Americas and the highest outside of Himalayas.
So how high is high?
How high is high? I will give you meters and feet, because various people work with various measurements. So it's 6,961 meters, which is around 22,000 feet.
That is just so high.
We calculated with my friend how many houses it would be stacked up now. I can't now remember how many, but we once sat with calculator and a glass of wine and worked out how many houses that would be stacked on each other.
And how many was it? A lot?
I can't remember. It was a lot.
Too much
it's
wine.
not due to wine that we had, but I can't just remember. She will.
So the training involved in that obviously is very intense and intensive. So I know I follow you on socials. I see you climbing the steps with weights in the backpack. That's for the final assault, is it?
Yeah, the reason why I came up with the stair climber is because obviously we will be walking up, we will be walking in altitude. The problem you've got when you are walking in a high altitude, you've got very limited oxygen, and therefore you are very quickly short of breath. So you've got to walk really slowly, but really, really slowly. The lack of oxygen will make you sick, will give you headaches, will make you dizzy. It's actually really dangerous if you don't manage it. You can actually die.
Altitude sickness is serious stuff.
It's really serious. And so we will have to carry our own stuff from the base camp up. So we will have several rucksacks. I will have my duffel bag where I will have like sleeping bag and everything, and change of clothes and spare boots and everything else I need. That will be taken from camp to camp. But then when we are at the base camp we will then need to carry loads of our stuff. We will need to carry like ice axe, our snow boots, everything for sleeping.
What would the temperature be like at the summit?
It really varies. It will be definitely minus. I've got sleeping bag that is up to minus 30. I had to buy a new one because the previous
So the
one,
transition, it's a few weeks, this trek, isn't it?
It's 3 weeks.
Right, up and down. So do you start in quite high temperatures and then you go to...
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah.
So
we
might be t-shirt, because obviously it will be summer in Argentina.
Yeah.
So when we get to Mendoza, it will be probably 30, 40 degrees, and then you get higher. First camp is over 3,000, so you still can do the t-shirt probably, but then I need to buy a really serious jacket. So my jacket is now not good enough that I had on Kilimanjaro, for example. So you will have to have several layers. It can be up to minus 26, minus 30, but it may be minus 10. You just don't know. Just don't know.
You're not selling it.
I know.
So, of course, you're doing this for the Propertymark Trust, aren't you? So we'll make sure that there's a link so people can donate. But you keep talking about we. Who's going? Are there other people from Propertymark, or is this a group of people?
No,
other mad people.
It's basically just me going, but I'm not.
Because everybody else is sane, you see.
I think that they. All my friends and all my colleagues from Propertymark Trust, they said they would support me from afar. Yeah. They've been very supportive. I've got small, close-knit of friends who are really supporting me, because it's a big thing for me as well, and I need support. I need mental support more than anything else, and I have learned to ask for it. But everybody is like, we'll watch you, Sarka, send us videos, we'll watch you, we are not going. I'm doing it basically myself for the Propertymark Trust. However, I have found the best out of the best companies to take me to Aconcagua. So I found, I've done a lot of research, as I normally do when I'm doing things, and I decided I will go with the company. The company that I'm going with, they are specialists in Aconcagua. They do many other things. They are based in Sheffield.
Oh, it's a UK company?
UK company.
Oh, okay.
I was first thinking that I'll just fly to Mendoza and I find somebody there, or like I will find an Argentinian company. But then I decided, because also with the volatile situation in America politically, you just never know. I was thinking it would be more reasonable for me and better if I go with UK-based company, especially because I've been so busy. As I said, I was doing degree, I run my own business. I just didn't have time to be dealing with all the logistics. So I decided I would look who is the best in the UK, whom I can go there with. And so I basically booked it with the company, and it's a group of us. I met people I'm going with last week. We had a little training weekend, so I know who I'm going with.
How do you train? I know you're training all the time, but do you any sort of elevation sort of training? Are you going up to the Lake District or Scotland? Or?
Mainly Peak District or Wales. And I'm going to go to Czech Republic and do some hiking there. I was thinking that I might go to Morocco and do Tubkal, because I did Tubkal in the past, or to Spain, but I really don't have time. I'm like...
It's getting close now, isn't it?
Yeah, and if I wasn't running my own business, I could maybe just, you know, fly there, fly here, fly everywhere. So I'm just trying to make all my training, and I'm focusing mainly on the cardio and weights. Right. So I get best out of the both worlds. And I do also open water, cold water swimming, and I basically do, as you know, because you do as well. And I have bought myself ice baths, so I'm sitting every day in freezing cold water for a few minutes, just because it helps with acclimatization.
Yeah, I mean, I like open water swimming, as you know, but it's when it gets really cold, what I find interesting is that I actually can't swim properly until I've regulated my breathing. So to me, my understanding of that, you know, the ice baths, it's all about regulating your breathing, and and you can't focus on anything else. You can only focus on your breathing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a survival thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is pretty much what you have experienced, that when you are in too cold water that you can't swim properly. This is very much similar with high altitude. You know, that's why open, like cold water swimming and ice bath is really recommended as a part of the training for acclimatization, because the body is getting similar shock.
Right, it's just shocking the body into...
You know, that shortness of the breath. And what is really important, so I, as a part of my like firewalking curriculum, I trained in breathwork. And so I learned to understand, for example, with panic attacks, it's often the regulation. You know, it's just learning how to regulate the breathing.
I mean, we could probably talk about this all day, and certainly if we start going off on open water swimming, because we could talk about our favourite lakes to swim in.
Yeah, I know how passionate we are about it.
Sarka, we wish you the very best of luck with climbing of the name of them.
Aconcagua.
I've still not got it, but we wish you the very best of luck. And anybody who wants to sponsor, either reach out directly to Sarka, or there will be a link in this post as well. We ask two last questions to all our guests. So first of all, what does Women in Estate Agency mean to you?
For me, it's an organization that promotes equality, that promotes the equality between men and women, and independency. For me, this is really, really important what Women in Estate Agency does, because obviously, as you can tell, I haven't been born here, and so I had quite few biases against me.
Yeah.
And it's really, really important, the work, the awareness, and also as a platform for women to be able to be the voice. But also what I really like is that the men are involved with as well, because both women and men have got just different things to deal with.
But if we want to make change, we have to do it together. And we're never going to do it without getting men involved. And the very final question is, we've loved having you as a guest, but who would you like to see in the hot seat in future?
There are a few people I would love to see in the hot seat, and one that I will mention, I think she's absolutely amazing, is Meghan 18, because she is a powerhouse.
A great nomination. Sarka, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.